I used to watch this movie all the time as a kid. I thought it was hilarious. And, now that I'm a horror fan, it's not too surprising to me that this was a movie I used to watch all the time as a kid because it is horror adjacent. It's a movie about a hunchback. And they talk about stereotypes with hunchbacks, and apparently all hunchbacks are called Igors. You would think then that this hunchback, since he wants to be more creative, he wants to be something else, he would give himself a different name. But no, he happily goes by Igor for some reason. Um, Not a major criticism, but you know, you think if he's different from other Igors that he wouldn't want to be called Igor. Um, I think all the character designs in this movie are absolutely phenomenal. Like they're instantly memorable. They all look very creepy or just I don't know how to describe it. Like the rabbit, I always remembered his face even though I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. The brain guy, Igor himself, the villains in the movie, characters that had one or two scenes, they all are just instantly memorable. Like I think the animation is just so good. So good. The soundtrack's pretty fucking fun too. There's some legitimately hilarious lines in this movie. I remember some of it being scarier as a kid, you know, but obviously I'm an adult now. My favorite line was in definitely in this movie was when they go to have her brainwashed. I guess I should talk about the plot then, since I'm gonna talk about my favorite line, and I feel like this needs to be talked about then. Igor is a hunchback that works for this guy Glickenstein. Glickenstein dies, and he needs to take his place in this evil science fair convention or whatever. It's not science fair. I don't know what it was called, but everybody's supposed to make something, and he decides to create life, and he creates this monster named Eva. But he needed her to be evil, but she's not. She's nice. Something messed up. She's nice. Um, so he decides to try and go get her brainwashed by having her uh, watch like an axe murdering movie, but Brain changes the channel and she now wants to be an actress. And there's a scene in that scene with a fly guy who works there. And, he's like, I want to pay for axe murdering. And he goes, oh, she must mean a lot to you. And he's got like a really sad voice. Honestly, best joke of the movie, in my opinion. The rabbit is constantly killing himself in the movie. I remembered it incorrectly for some reason. As a kid, I thought that he was immortal. I did remember that. But that like he got killed accidentally throughout the movie. And nobody cared because he was immortal. But no, he just doesn't want to be alive and wants to kill himself. He just has he's played by Steve Buscemi, who's honestly an underrated actor. He's done so much good work. He's in Monsters Inc. He's in Spy Kids. He's in a lot of kids movies. I believe he was even in Sopranos. Um, I might be wrong about that. I know it's like a mob boss show he was in that a lot of people compliment him on. He's just a really good actor, and he plays the rabbit in this movie. And he's got like an existential dread line where he talks about how life is meaningless, and you don't expect that in a kids movie. So the two villains of the movie try and manipulate Igor. Doesn't work. They do end up manipulating Eva, but by sexually assaulting Igor, he's forcibly kissed when he does not want to be kissed. And that is enough to get Eva. She doesn't know that's what actually happened, but get Eva to work with the bad guy. And obviously, she doesn't know he's the bad guy. He's able to bring out her evil bone, and She goes and kills all the other machines that are in the tournament. And, Igor's able to talk her down, and she's back to her good self. And the villains are defeated. And there's also a reveal that the girl was actually a hunchback this whole time, one of the bad girls, which is ironic because she had made fun of Igor for being an Igor. The soundtrack in this movie is pretty fucking good. There is a song in here that's kind of wild when listening to it. I watched it with my friend. There's a song called The Bigger Figure, and it's about this guy who loves this girl because she's big, and he hopes that she actually gets bigger. And he has like a lot of crazy lines in that song. It's fine if you like bigger women, but some of those lines in that song are rather questionable. Like he says, if she ever eats me out of money, he's gonna put her to work in a circus. There's a lot of crazy lines. I think you should listen to the song yourself. Um, Honestly, crazy movie.